Okay, I'm going to finish up the answers for homework number 12 on lecture day 6. This video I'm going to do the 2 questions in part C. So similar to the first 2 sections, we're just building a little bit more. This one we just have sentence in a regular sentence form. So we have to do the labels, we have to identify the conclusion, we have to put it in standard form, and then do the Venn diagrams to test for validity. So let's go ahead and get started. First one, I'm not going to try pronouncing those. So what we're going to do first, let's go ahead and label the terms. So you can do this in your head. I find it helpful to have a little key on the side, especially with like so many confusing, like the 2 C's, just to have a key so you don't get confused. We'll use M for monkeys in Asia. Let's use O for Columbines and Y for Catarines. So let's go ahead and see if we can highlight any premise and conclusion indicators to help us out. Some monkeys in Asia, and thus, we have thus is a conclusion indicator. So we know what follows that is going to be our conclusion. And given that is also a premise indicator. So the top and the bottom, those 2 phrases are going to be our premises. So let's go ahead and fill in the conclusion. So some M, monkeys in Asia, are Y. Okay, and Y is our major term. So the major premise is going to be the premise with Y in it, which is this last one down here. So all O are Y, and then fill in the top one, which is some M. Monkeys in Asia are O. We can go ahead and label our Venn diagrams. So our conclusion, M and Y, M, Y, M, Y, and then our middle term is O. Again, you can use different letters. Just make sure they're different letters and they're consistent throughout. So first premise, all O are Y. Shade out the area that's not part of Y. Some M are O. And because we did the shading first, the only area that's left is right there in the middle. And then the conclusion is some M are Y. So we're looking for an X anywhere in that football shaped area. And again, doesn't matter if it's up here or down here, we do have an X in that area. And that one is valid. Move on to number 2. No persons averse to mathematics are engineering majors, and some friends of Jim are engineering majors. Consequently, some friends of Jim are not persons averse to mathematics. So, and is a premise indicator showing us that both the first part and the second part are both premises. And then, obviously, consequently, it's a conclusion indicator. So this last part is going to be our conclusion. Let's go ahead and forget to fill in the labels here, fill in the key. So persons averse to mathematics, we'll just use P. Engineering majors, we'll use E. Friends of Jim, let's go ahead and use J. All right, so again, we have the conclusion on the bottom. Fill in the conclusion first. So, some friends of Jim, is J, are not persons averse to mathematics, is P. And then P is going to be our major term. So the premise with P in it is going to be on top, which is persons averse to mathematics. So that'll be the first one up on top. No P RE. And then fill in the second premise. Some friends of Jim, which is J, are engineering majors. So let's fill in the labeled the Venn diagrams. So our conclusion, J and P, oops, P, and then our middle term is E down on the bottom. We have no P or E. Shade out the middle, the crossover between them. Some J R E. So again, because we did the universal first, it already eliminates this area. So the only place for the X to go is right in that space. And the conclusion, some J are not P. So we're just looking for an X somewhere in this area. And we have it. So that one also is valid. If you have any questions, shoot me a message.